Kozem, and again, now we're gonna have a short episode in which I relate to you our first and probably only amazing paranormal encounter with me, my brother, and our childhood friend. Now that's me here wearing normal spectacles over sunglasses because that's how I rolled back then. Anyways, the three of us, including our parents obviously, were in a vacation to Turkey's Cappadocia region, known for its weirdly shaped stone formations and its famous underground cities. There are many such underground cities in that region, and our hotel was near one of these places. They're really like beautiful, spectacular, and quite surreal places. They really leave a mark on you. Now, in these places, there's like rooms upon rooms. So it's a bit like the back doors, but in 3 dimensions and in stone, and it's really easy to get lost in them. Because of this reason, they're actually quite like dangerous places. But of course, back in these days, that is to say, the mid 1990s, there were no such rules. So the three of us, plus our friend's cousin, who's not pictured here, we snuck into an underground city that was close to our hotel. So we walked down the place, we entered into one room, and we walked down that room, entered into a third room. Now in the third room, there was a chamber, like a sloped chamber leading down to a final section. But me and our friend's cousin, I'll just call him Cousin Ali, me and Cousin Ali were too scared to go down. But my brother and our friend, who are like more outgoing, dashing, normie types, they went down the fourth chamber, and me and Cousin Ali were like stationed at the beginning of the slope, basically talking down to my brother and our friend, like, what are you seeing down there, and stuff like this. And they described us, there's a chamber down here, it's like an ancient throne room. We see some stairs, and we see on the left and right of these stairs there are some sphinx-like statues. We were like, come back before it's too late. We were also scared because, like, if this slope was too steep for them to climb back up, we would be like in a really tight spot. So like, come back, stuff like this. But they said, wait, we can see at the top of the stairs there are some arcane-looking gates or doors or doorway or something. It's like straight out of Ghostbusters, but not completely unbelievable, since these places basically look like this and they're quite surreal on top of themselves. But then suddenly there was a sound like and then my brother and our friend started screaming like crazy, and we just ran out of there shrieking. They were screaming their heads off. So we ran out of there with all our might, and back at the hotel, they described that they had seen a being, an entity of sorts. It looked like a humanoid silhouette, but they said it looked like negative space. So it was not like a dark man, or like, it was not a human being, but it was like a negative silhouette. They said it sucked the light out of the place. They said it had white eyes that glowed like basically beacons of light, and most absurdly, they said this entity had a Chicago Bulls cap placed backwards. So at first, the entity had its back turned to them, so they just thought it was like a regular person with a backwards pointing Chicago Bulls cap. But then when the entity like turned to face them, they were scared shitless. Oh my god, this negative entity monster, an entity. So for the remaining 3 days of this vacation, neither me nor Cousin Ali could sleep because we were just so scared that the Chicago Bulls monster, pictured here by our close friend, online friend Alexx Barron, he was kind enough to illustrate it. Actually, I told this whole story all over again in the previous video, but I'm just providing it as extra content because ever since the first post, Alex was kind enough to make this illustration, so I did not want it to go to waste. Anyways, for 3 days I couldn't sleep, but of course, 5 years later, okay, our friend and my brother admitted that this whole thing was a fabrication. They basically went down the fourth chamber and it was just a regular chamber. It just kept going and going. But they said, they whispered to each other, let's, like when I say go, you just start screaming and we run back to the hotel. And there, my friend made this hilarious he made up this hilarious story on the spot, which goes to show how gullible we were. But that's it for this short episode of our so-called encounter with a trans-dimensional being. I did not have any supernatural encounters before or after this incident. I had some pretty weird dreams, including one that partially happened to come true. And before we lost our loved ones, I had some pretty old relatives die. I had some things like premonitions, but I had no other encounters with any sorts of entity. Now, another reason I made this video as a standalone video is that I want you to tell if you had any real or imagined encounters with any such entities. Please talk about them in the comment section and let's discuss. I'm really curious any other experiences you might have had. And even if they're like fake ass experiences, even if it was a case of childhood make-believe like our story, please comment in the comment section. And if you're new to this channel, please subscribe and please consider supporting me on patreon.com. And once again, special thanks to Alexx Barron for this amazing illustration. Thanks and have a nice day. Bye.